Jimmy Butler traded to the Golden State Warriors, and somehow are the Mavs in even more trouble? Coming up on today's Locked On Mavs, one more thing.
I'm here because I have to be.
Dallas is going to get a seat at the table.
That's it. It's me versus the machine. Don't let his lightness take away from his quickness.
You can rest later. You're young.
And then recover here.
Wait. One more thing. Yeah. It's a one more thing. You're locked on the Dallas Mavericks. My name is Isaac. I'm one of your co-hosts. Thanks for making Locked On Mavs your first listen of the day. Go make Locked On NBA your second listen of the day. Or honestly, go listen to so many episodes that we've been dropping here at Locked On Mavs over the past week. It's been an eventful week, to say the least. Not even week. Gosh, it's like 5 days. If you are a true Mavs fan, then you're already signed up for our Locked On Mavs Insider program. This is where we text you all the updates, latest rumors, all the stuff straight to your phone. And many of you are already signed up for our free newsletter. It's one email a day. It's free. It's all the latest Mavs news in our latest podcast episode. All right. Today I want to talk about Jimmy Butler. Jimmy Butler traded to the Golden State Warriors, and I don't know if I've seen so many moving parts and so many people confused about the full makeup of a trade than Twitter during that time. Because Kyle Anderson was headed to like 3 different teams. I mean, I saw reporters that I trust saying Toronto, he's staying in Miami, Detroit. ESPN was tweeting us. I was like, dude, Kyle Anderson, the truth is slow-mo to getting out there about this trade. And yeah, but I mean, Andrew Wiggins heads to Miami, PJ Tucker, I think for now, Kyle Anderson is in Miami. Jimmy heads to Golden State. I think Lindy Waters and Josh Richardson is in Detroit. But once again, there's so many names thrown around in this of like who's headed where. I don't think anybody ended up in Toronto. And of course, there's some draft picks involved there. But the biggest thing here is Jimmy Butler to the Warriors. The Jimmy Butler saga was insane. 2 months. I mean, talking about somebody who just went scorched earth. It feels like Jimmy's went scorched earth like multiple times in his career, and somehow he comes out on the end of it in a great spot. If you want to go, Minnesota ends up in Philly ends up in Miami now he heads to Golden State and gets a 2-year $121 million extension. I made the joke online of, there's the reports like Jimmy does not want to go to Golden State. And, it's like, hey, you're going to make $60 million a year. Jimmy's like, so I do like the Bay. How quick can I get a boat? And this is how fast the Jimmy thing happened real quick here at the end. But the initial thought for me is the Warriors got better. That's where I'm at. I don't know whether it makes them title contenders or not, but I think they did get better because essentially Kyle Anderson barely playing for them. And then it was, a draft pick on top of that. And Andrew Wiggins. So you're basically swapping out Andrew Wiggins for Jimmy Butler, and Jimmy Butler is better than Andrew Wiggins. Now you can sit here and make all the different arguments about, hey, the fit and who's going to have the ball when and all the different stuff. But when Jimmy is locked in, and it feels like they're going to provide him a situation and a contract so that he is locked in, Jimmy can fit in a lot of different places. That's why even when the Mavs stuff was coming up and he mentioned Dallas as one of those destinations, it was like, man, besides the contract, I think he'd fit great in Dallas. And this is when we had Luka, but he would fit great now in Dallas. And so I've always been a fan of Jimmy's game. So I do think the Warriors got better. And the frustrating part on top of that is there's a lot of reasons to be frustrated the past 5 days as a Mavericks fan. But I think another reason I was frustrated is they got to keep some of their like pick stuff, situated. Jonathan Kuminga, Pods, like they got to keep some of their young pieces. One of their biggest trade assets is Kuminga, and they got to keep him. So it's like they're still set up for an even more like win now type of trades to get even better. And I think, as a Mavs fan, Mavs are also, obviously win now mode. If we didn't know that, because, you're not win now mode when you're with Luka, but we are win now mode now. It's like we've been win now for a few years. Anyway, Mavericks are win now, have a team, have invested in players to win now. And you can't help to look at the Western Conference standings. So, what is the impact of the Jimmy Butler trade in Dallas? And are the Mavs in trouble with it? Like, because when you start going down the Western Conference standings, you look at the top, OKC's kind of running away with the first seed in the number 1 seed in the West. Then you got the young the young guns there, the Grizzlies and the Rockets. I don't know where they finish when it's all said and done, but Memphis is really good. Houston's good. Then you get into Denver, the Lakers, and it's like, all right, where's the cutoff point? Like you can make the cutoff point of like, all right, I think Dallas could catch this team, and there's not much separation yet. As far as like, there's like 2 games in between teams here and there, 2 games between Rockets and Memphis. And I'm recording this at around 9:50 p.m. So that'll tell you if any trades happen or standings might change a little bit. But right now it has Mavericks are about 4.5 games back from the Lakers for the like 5th seed. So let's just do the cutoff at like let's just do the cutoff at like the 6th seed. So the Clippers are right now currently in the 6th seed in the West, and they're 2.5 games ahead of Dallas. I think the number 1 goal for the Dallas Mavericks heading into the second half of the season is 1, you can't miss everything. So you got to at least make the play in, but 2, making the top 6 is like, should be the ultimate thing. If you can make it in that 6th spot or climb to the 5th spot or something like that, avoid the play in, obviously. And that would take a big turn of events for Dallas. You stay healthy, go on a big run. Everything clicks really fast. And AD is just a monster down the stretch. So if you do the Clippers down through the Mavs, who are at 11, so 6 through 11, you're looking at these teams: the Clippers, the Timberwolves, the Kings, Suns, Warriors, Mavs, and then like 3.5 games behind them, 3.5 back, are the Spurs, who, if you didn't know, just traded for De'Aaron Fox. So they're definitely, hey, like we got Fox and Wemby. They're probably going to win some games at the end of the season. So out of those teams right there, 2 of those teams are not going to make the play-in. Out of the Clippers, Wolves, Kings, Suns, Warriors, Mavs, and Spurs. And so it's like, all right, well, which teams are struggling the most right now? Which teams are in trouble? Which teams are improving? And that's where you look at 2 teams right now. You look at the Warriors, who just added Jimmy Butler, and they're in this mix of having Steph, Jimmy, Draymond. Let's see what else they do before the deadline on Thursday. And, they still kept the rotation intact for the most part. So it's like, are they going to make a little run? You look at the Kings, it's like, okay, you basically traded Fox for Levine and Valanciunas. They got Valanciunas earlier today. Those are obviously win now moves. The Valanciunas deal is kind of weird. Even some of the reports are like, I'm like, Valanciunas and Sabonis, they play well together. We could see this. I'm like, I think every team in the Western Conference would be like, please put that lineup on the floor. We'd love if you played Sabonis and Valanciunas together. But which one of the 2 teams out of that group is not even going to make the play-in? I want to talk a little bit more about these teams and the 2 teams that I'm going to predict right now misses the play-in. This could be very, very dangerous prediction. Coming up next. Oh, crap.
You don't believe you shouldn't be here.
This podcast is brought to you by Prize Picks. Our friends at Prize Picks are back. Basketball season is continuing to get even hotter. All the trades here coming up on Thursday in the past week. There's no better way to get in on the action with Prize Picks, the best place for daily fantasy sports. With over 10 million members and billions in award winnings, that's billions with a B. PrizePicks makes it easier and fun to turn your sports knowledge into real money. And here's how it works. Just pick more or less on at least 2 player projections in it. And if you're right, you can win up to $1,000 cash. PrizePicks even has a free pick for the big game where Patrick Mahomes only needs to throw 1 yard to win. Seems pretty good one to win there. Pair that with one more correct pick and you're cashing out. Guys, there's so many of them coming up for the Super Bowl coming up on Sunday. PrizePicks makes it simple. You can set your lineup in less than 60 seconds and they're fast. Secure withdrawals mean you can get paid quickly when you win. Plus, their Taco Tuesday promo gives you discounted player projections for even more value. Check out the promos tab to tell any of your super sweet Millie winners on the big game lineups. Okay. Download the app today and use the code LOCKEDONNBA to get $50 instantly after you play your first $5 lineup. That's code LOCKEDONNBA for $50 instantly after you play your first $5 lineup. PrizePicks, run your game. This podcast is also brought to you by our longtime friends at FanDuel. Super Bowl 59 is here. 1 game, 2 teams, endless possibilities. There's no better way to make every play more exciting than FanDuel Sportsbook. Whether it's predicting the first touchdown, calling the MVP, or betting on the coin toss, FanDuel makes it easy to get in on the action with live betting all game long. You can adjust your bets as the game unfolds and feel the thrill from kickoff to the final whistle. The live betting feature lets you stay involved no matter what happens, and the app is super easy to navigate. Plus, knowing your place on a $5 bet and potentially win $200 in bonus bets for the Super Bowl, that's icing on the cake. Download the app or head to FanDuel.com to get started. Just $5. Bet just $5, and if you win, you'll score $200 in bonus bets. That's FanDuel.com. Bet with FanDuel, official partner of Super Bowl 59.
Shut it down! Let's go home!
All right. Are the Warriors better than the Mavs? Steph, Jimmy, Draymond, Mavericks, Kyrie, Anthony Davis, PJ Washington, Klay Thompson. I still like the Mavericks when they're healthy. Am I wrong for that? Am I just showing bias if I say right now, like, if both teams fully healthy, I kind of like Dallas? It feels like there's some bias there, but I don't know. They got Jimmy. am I talking myself out of it on the pod right now? That's kind of weird. All right, let's figure out which 2 teams are going to miss the play in. So you got the Kings and Warriors making win now moves. What the heck is going to happen to the Suns? They just reported before I hit record that Kevin Durant's going to stick in Phoenix. That's not awkward at all. And I guess they're just going to keep on running this thing. Man, I hope Nurkic is on that team past the deadline. That would be hilarious. After all this, Nurkic is on that team. So then he can go 6 months without talking to Bud. Kings, Wolves, and Clippers. The Clippers have calmed down a little bit. Timberwolves, Ant had a big night tonight. They're also lost Julius Randle today for a couple weeks. So out of these teams, Clippers, Wolves, Kings, Suns, Warriors, Mavs, Spurs, I'm going to say it's the Spurs and Suns. I'm going to say the Suns are going to miss everything. It's probably going to come back to bite me. But who's better right now? Mavs, Warriors, Wolves, Clippers, Kings. Can the Mavs move up to the 6th spot? Heck yeah, they can move up to the 6th spot. I mean, we're talking 2.5 games. That's very doable. And, it's like, all right, the Lakers are in the 5th spot. They're 8-2 over the past 10. They've kind of been on a hot streak, and they're getting this guy that some people know, Luka Doncic. Do you know him? They're getting him back here coming up soon. So we'll see how that plays out, because Luka is an instant, hey, I'm going to put my team on my back guy. So, yeah, there's that. That's it. That's how the Jimmy Butler trade. I'm like, seriously, do you have another freaking star come to the West? Like, can y'all just go to the East? De'Aaron Fox, can you just get traded to the East? Like, why do we have to? Like, it's the freaking West. Meanwhile, the East is just like, hey, we have Charlotte and, these teams at the, anyway, whatever. Not salty about that at all. Let's look at some last minute trade targets. This pod will come out sometime on Wednesday night. Trade deadline on Thursday afternoon. Will the Dallas Mavericks make another trade? I don't know. Let's see. I mean, they obviously still have the draft picks. They added the draft pick from LA. You got rid of the Maxey contract. That was a big like trade chip type of contract in that. So who out there makes the most sense? You probably are not going after a backup 5 now. Lively's going to come back at some point. Fingers crossed. Gafford's in there right now. AD's going to play the 4. AD's going to be your backup 5 too at times. So maybe they get somebody like super cheap, unless you're a big believer in Kyler Kelly. I don't know. It feels like there's still a gap for the offensive creation for Dallas right now. Because the wing combo, Caleb Martin, Max Christie, Najee Marshall, Klay Thompson, probably missing something off the top of my head right now, which is dumb. But you kind of have, obviously PJ. God, I feel dumb. But who are some other names out there? What's going to happen with Kyle Anderson? I did a trade literally like an hour before Luka got traded. And it was just like, hey, here's 3 random, wing trade targets. And I'm on this pod talking about Matisse Thybulle and Kyle Anderson. And then an hour later, Luka gets traded. What's going on with Kyle Anderson? If Miami's just trying to give him away for free, I would still be interested if I was Dallas. Another wing, he could create a little bit too, run the pick and roll. Shout out to my nemesis. But man, my number one guy right now, if they could go get him, is Kobe White. Man, go get Kobe White. I love this guy. I saw one little report a day or so ago that Chicago could listen to offers for Kobe White. They kind of took Lonzo off the market, giving him a 2-year extension, which shout out to him after everything he's been through. Happy for that guy. And I like Lonzo a lot, and I thought he was a good target for a lot of teams. But so what do they do with their backcourt? They have Josh Giddey too. Io's been playing really well for them. I just know Kobe White's 6'5", 6'6", offense, all the stuff. I would go get Kobe White if I could, if I was Dallas. So yeah, Kyle Anderson, obviously Kobe White's the number one guy for me right now. I'd be thrilled if they got him before the deadline. And then 2 other guys, like if you're just looking at your team and you're saying, man, who's going to generate some offense for us? Who can create, get a shot on their own, run the offense? If you're not going to trust in Dinwiddie fully for the rest of the season, that's putting a lot on Dinwiddie. Then 2 names I would look at would be Jose Alvarado and Jordan Clarkson. And sorry, I'm getting a phone call. Yeah, I mean, Jordan Clarkson, I think, would be cheaper. He makes around $14 million. So you'd have to, throw some contracts in there at that point to figure this thing out. Alvarado's like on a super cheap contract. I get it. He's smaller. I get it. I've mentioned his name before, and everybody's like, "Yeah, why do you want to trade for a small guard?" And like all this stuff. I'm like, all right, yell at me. I don't care. I just like Alvarado a lot, and I think he could have a solid role off the bench when Kyrie's taking a break, and you're kind of tired of seeing the Dinwiddie dribble. I'm going to take a sidestep 3 brick, and it's probably pretty mean, but I don't know. There's something about Alvarado I would like on this team, and I would prefer Alvarado to Clarkson. Clarkson's more of like, hey, second unit. He's more of that classic 6-man guy, the Jamal Crawford lane of player. And but yeah, I'm just going to put it out there now. I'm out on Dennis Schroeder. Sorry, he can play overseas now, and I'm out on trying to go after Chris Middleton. I don't know what Washington's going to do for him, but miss me with that. I'm not trying to package the other salaries to get the $31 million for Chris Middleton. So no, I'm out on that. I think it's a smaller deal. If Dallas does make another deal, it wouldn't shock me if they're done and they just say, hey, let's just get healthy and run this team. And that would put a lot of faith in Dinwiddie and Caleb Martin for offense. Besides Kyrie, obviously you're going to have AD and Kyrie, but kind of that off the bench offense. I would go get somebody cheap if I could for Dallas to generate some more offense before the deadline. on Thursday. We'll have a podcast for you. I mean, we'll cover all the stuff on Thursday. Make sure you subscribe to our subtext. We'll text all the latest rumors. As soon as news drops, you get it texted to your phone if you're not on X and all that stuff. You don't want to do all the notifications. We'll just shoot you a text with all the latest info and all that. We'll see you tomorrow. Peace out. Gets me every time that there's no music.